one of the things is when you're leave this overnight, you should put the two halves together, not gluing it, but just put the two halves together and clamp it down. Never to leave this on the floor unattended for more than an hour or so because of moisture. You don't want to glue this together now because I haven't finished working on it. And if you leave it on the floor, the moisture on the floor will get into the wood, and then it will warp the wood one way or another. So then a week later, let's say you finally finish carving all the holes, and you put the two halves together and you realize that they don't match, and then one is curved and the other is curved the other way because the wood has warped due to the moisture. So at night when you're not working on this, or during the day, whenever, clamp it back together when you don't work on it, so that you know that when time comes to clamp it together, that these two halves will fit perfectly. So once again, this is going to be another hole for the other side. This is the back side of the dummy, and this is the top. Once again, this is the front. So now I'm going to do the back hole, which is this one here. So I'll measure 2 inches from here, which happens to be 18 inches from the top, if you look from the top. So here we go. Okay. Now, this hole, I wanted to make this hole a little bit bigger. Reason for that is that this hole is going to be the back hole, and it will be 2 3/8 instead of 2 when it's from here to here. Why? Because the back hole we make a little bit bigger so that the arm, once the arm is in, it will pivot a little bit more in the back, so that there's a little bit more give when you hit the arms. There's a bit more of a give when you hit it, so that it would pivot a little bit more in the back. So therefore we make the back hole just a little bit bigger. So it goes down from here. And this will be 2 3/8. For now, I'm going to make maybe 2 1/4 instead of 2 3/8. Would be better. So this will be 2 1/4. So that when I want to make it 2 3/8, I can. What happens, I'm gonna try not to make it so much, just so that if I need to make it more, I can always go ahead and cut more wood. It's harder to add wood if you go wrong. It's easier to just cut more wood if I want more. So this hole here going up and down, this I'm gonna make it 2 1/4 instead of 2 3/8. I'll make this 2 1/4. I think that should do it just about. I give myself a little bit of leeway so that I don't go all the way to 2 1/4. Here's cutting it a little bit too close. I'm not supposed to cut starting this line. So this cut down a millimeter too much. So I think my saw is adjusted a little bit too much. Since the distance between here to here is only 2 inches, and I want to cut a little bit more this time. I want to cut 2 1/4, so I set this 2 1/4, but this is not 2 1/4. So what I'm going to do now is just to pull back the depth of the circular saw just a little bit so that I don't nick this part of the wood. So here it is. The only exception is I made a cut that's a little bit too deep when I first started. It's okay, this is on the inside. Anyhow, I'm just going to fill it with some wood filler and glue, and you're not going to see this anyhow. So here is one piece. Now that these two armholes are done, for the top I am going to do the middle armhole, which is very, very easy because this is not at an angle that I have to cut. This is going to be just a simple straight cut. The measurement here is go down 26.5 inches. From the top. 26.5 inches from the top. Make a line here. And it's going to be 2 inches wide. It won't be very big. This is only 1 1/8. Here to here is 1 1/8, and here is 2 inches. And this is going to be just a very simple straight cut. Super easy to do. This one by far is the easiest one to do. There's a little nick here, some wood chip or something that's cut a little bit deeper than I want to. So all I do is put some glue there, get some sawdust on the floor, and just fill it. And there you have it. Half the dummy is done already. That I-beam was the front, and this I-beam is the back. Now I just got to make a duplicate.